Okay. Hibiscus. Yeah, that's a hibiscus. Now, the hibiscus teas I've tried, unless they're mixed with other things, just hibiscus seems to have almost a tart to it. But any of the pretty hibiscus that I have grown over the years, I've saved the petals and tried to make a tea out of it, but there was no flavor. I don't know. I mean, if there's no flavor, I don't know. Maybe it's just not high in volatile oils. I mean, I don't know. I just didn't get any flavor. So maybe there's a different type of hibiscus, a specific type to make your teas with. That's something I'm really not real familiar with. So, just being honest with you, I don't know that much about it. I know I do a lot of experimenting and I've tried, but I also don't get any flavor out of it. I'm hoping I'll get some sort of medicinal or vitamins, minerals, something out of it. But there's no flavors. So I don't know which is different because the store-bought ones have almost this real tartish type flavor. So I don't know about that. As I've mentioned in a couple of my other videos, this is the year of the echinacea. I mean, I have tons of it. Now, usually I let my echinaceas grow a few years so I can get more root to them, to get the echinacea root, which is the most medicinal part of the echinacea. But there is some medicinal benefits in the flowers and the leaves, mainly the flowers, but not like the roots. So I may come in here, and I hate to cut them. They're so pretty. And now I've been pulling everything away from the trailer. So I'm getting ready to have a thing built over my trailer. And I don't have a lot of beauty, as much beauty. I don't like, it's not like it was. So, but I kind of want to, I really don't know. I really like the idea of having the extra echinacea, but I really like the powerful roots. So, not quite sure my roots will be big enough to dig up this year in this one. Um, this is that one I told you that it was black-eyed Susan last year. It came up echinacea this year. I've never heard of such a thing. Like I said, I don't. It still has me baffled. But this is the first year that I've had the echinacea. So I don't. The plant itself is like, my goodness, it is like, it's really tall. You can't really tell in the camera, but it's almost tall as I am. Very, very tall. Not quite. Probably, well, maybe it's 4.5 feet. I don't know, because it's in a pot too. But um, still, it's the roots that are beneficial. It's the first year in the pot, so digging up the roots, I probably wouldn't get much. For those that follow my channel, this is my licorice plant. And you also want a few years on this for the roots. This is the first year it's given me these pods. And I'm wondering if I am assuming that's where the seeds are. I mean, that's where seeds usually grow, is in pods, and they've dried. So I ought to cut those off and keep them for the seeds, see what happens, and try growing some from the seeds next year. Um, but I'm wondering, since they grew seeds this year, if maybe I might not dig the roots up and see what I get. The plant's only, it might be 2 years. So really, they say you're supposed to have 3, but I don't know. I might just experiment, try digging it. I'll have to dig it up and see what I get for roots. Um, because I do have this little one that I planted in the bucket last year. So this is what, year and a half? So that one's probably 2.5. It's probably close enough. I think I may try digging the roots on that other one. This is my little one, so it's not ready, and it's not growing pods. And yeah, see, there's things that I'm still learning on, and I'm sharing with you as I go along. I mean, there's a lot of things that I have learned over the years that I share, but I also share, and that I know about. But I also share things that I'm experimenting or growing or that's new to me. I'm sharing with you as we go along. Okay, this is my Rose of Sharon. Isn't that beautiful? This is just absolutely beautiful. Um, Regular marshmallow plant, they have little bitty flowers, probably the size of one of the petals of this one. They're not very big, but the plants are related. And yes, you can eat the Rose of Sharon. It has much of the same benefits as the marshmallow plant. Um, I have a couple times used the flowers, but not a lot. Also, you can see the relation. This is the hollyhock. They are related with the marshmallow and the Rose of Sharon. Yeah, the hollyhock, and you can see that it's very similar, the flower itself. So this one, you can't really see it. The sun is so bright, but there's a slight pink inside of it. It was just all yellow, but this year it's developed a pink to it. All the flowers have a little bit of pink. Now, when they dry up, they're just yellow looking, but when they're growing, they have a little bit of a pink. I don't know if you can see the dried up yellow top up here. They are very yellow looking, but when they're coming out, they have that little bit of pink. But yeah, they're all related. Okay, my comfrey. I have been picking that, cutting it. I cut a bunch, cut it up, dried it. I've got it in a jar. I may make some salve this fall with it. Right now I cut a bunch of it out. It's really growing good. This is my baby down here that I ordered and just planted this year. This one I've been digging up and bringing with me, but it was fairly small when it started out because these do die back, the comfrey. Um, but this is my second bucket full of cutting the leaves. I cut the leaves way back and a bunch more grew. So it's doing really well. But I cut them all up, put it in a bucket of water, and let it set for days and days until it gets nice and brown and maybe a tad stinky. That's when it's really good for the plants. So, yeah, it has lots of vitamins and minerals that you can feed your plants with. I haven't so far here, but I used to put dried chicken manure in it as well. Mix the comfrey and the dried chicken manure. This year I've just been using the comfrey. I have had, is it recording? I missed it if it is. Okay, it's recording. Um, I have had lots of blossoms on my yarrow. I got some laying over on the table too that's drying. It's so hot, they dry pretty fast. I've got them here, and I just the tops off this morning and laid them on the table to dry. I've just had all kinds of blossoms from my yarrow this year. My plants are doing much better here than they did in the other place last time that I was for about a year. It was in the mountains too, but things didn't grow well there at all. Here I've been able to get some really nice growth out of a lot of my plants. That's stevia. My son didn't realize I let the tall weeds here grow because they were giving it some shade and also hiding it from the deer. After he pulled it, the deer found it and ate off some of it, but at least they didn't eat it all. I don't think they liked the taste of it as well or something. Yeah, the deer love the pepper plants for some reason. This one, though, I figured I'll never get anything out of this because they ate it down to just some stems, but it's really leafing out quickly. So that one they ate part of it, but they left me a bell pepper and a few leaves. It was harder for them to get all the way in here to eat, and I think my dogs start barking sometimes at night, and I think they're barking at the deer. I don't think the deer like the dogs too well. So this looks like here we have this stuff coming up all over. I think that's anise hyssop. Let's see. Let me see what it smells like. Yeah, it's kind of a stinky. It smells similar and it looks like anise hyssop, but it smells almost like a different type of anise hyssop or something. Maybe it's just because it's a different plant. It has a different smell. I don't know why they're coming up all over because when I moved in here, I didn't have much but one pot. But I seem to have anise hyssop coming everywhere, which is okay. I don't really particularly like the flavor, but my dogs do. And it does help a little bit in the wintertime with my disabled dog Ty with his breathing. So I like to have it to make a tea to add to their water. That is anise hyssop. Okay, now this is my main and I thought my only anise hyssop plant. I left one for the bees. There's another little one there too. But this is anise hyssop. I cut, as you can see, a bunch of that and dried it and put it in a jar. So I'll have it this winter for my dogs because I don't really care for it myself. But like I said, it's good for my dogs. Okay, for those of you that I showed earlier, I got these planted late because I received them late. And I don't know what it is. I bought one little pumpkin at a like a farmer's market, and they had them in the freezer, and I wondered if the seeds were going to be any good. Every one of the seeds had come up, so I had to end up thinning it out. But the meat looks kind of like a pumpkin. It's orange. They're pretty small though. But he said they have a blue tinge to them when they haven't been frozen. So it'll be interesting to see if I get some fruit from these. Like I said, I got them late, but they're really taking off and growing. Look at that. I mean, yeah, they're growing good. I've got them under some of this shade cloth so they don't burn up. And looky here. Now this looks like a wild poke plant coming up, which would be really good. I'd like that. Um, you can eat poke greens, and you can use the berries to dye as like a dye to dye with. Dye clothes or whatever you want to dye. That is a small, I believe that was a piece off one of my black creme tomatoes, which I ate my first one with some bacon the other day, bacon tomato sandwich, which is first time I ever ate a black creme tomato. They're very good. Very, very good. All my sunflowers died except for this one, and it looks like it's trying to make a little flower. I'm going to make one. It's not very big. It didn't do too good. More echinacea. I got echinaceas. Echinaceas are just going crazy this year. Which is nice. They smell wonderful. They're beautiful and they're good medicine. Echinacea is an awesome plant to have. Anyway, I am going to. I think I'm going to end right here. Just a few pieces and parts and things of the garden. And I will catch you all next time. I hope you have a good weekend and beautiful week coming up, or whenever you happen to see this video. And bye for now.